Hello, and welcome to this little opinion video of mine. Just gonna walk around this wonderful new map we got in the map pool, and I'll talk about what I think about it. The map got some updates, as you all know. Like this area back here is completely new. They widened some stuff. I don't even know where they widened the stuff, to be honest. They added this plateau, so the A side is completely different than it was before, which is interesting, but I'm not quite sure about these angles. For example, this whole area in here is mainly good for an afterplant or like a one-off position, being here as a CT maybe and getting flashed in or something, or just for hiding. This is quite difficult to do anything with. And something I find quite interesting, you can actually boost up here. This whole area is accessible, so you could, for example, hide in here, which is kind of interesting. I don't know why they did that, but it is on purpose, because you can see everything is clipped here. Everything is clipped up to the skybox. Literally everything, all the way up. So there's no boosts or anything to be found, or mostly no boosts to be found. But this boost, for example, is definitely one that is intended, as well as these boxes are intended to stand on side box as well. So there's going to be a lot of interesting off angles to be taken on this A side. So the A side is going to be a very interesting side to see how the gameplay develops on, I think. There's as well like many entries to it. If the T's wanted to smoke out the CTs from every side, they could maybe do this. And you'd basically have like a wall of smokes, but you would still have to come from middle area where you have to clear out the side hole here, for which you would need to clear out mid, just in order to not have to smoke this here. So this is it's gonna be very interesting how T's approach this, and I think this map is gonna be very much based on map control. Because yeah, we're gonna get to the next area right now, and that's middle. First, you can see it's quite easy to molly off this side of middle, and this molly is gonna be hella important, because in terms of timing, once you run out here, you probably would meet the T's around here. So this Molotov is quite useful to hold them back. It's quite easy to make it spread, so it's not an issue. If you molly back here, even with good spawn, the enemies are gonna be right here once they come through. So this is too deep, which is kind of interesting. So the timing actually is just the right way, that you kind of have to molly like that. And then you can somehow post up. I think the op is going to be playing mids mostly, which is the problem with middle I see is if you get smoked off here, which I think is going to happen a lot, you have like a 10-second rotate in the next engagement basically. You can go support A quite quickly, and that's why I think side hold is going to be very important to hold, because you still have like one entry that can be smoked off, but at least there has to be two smokes so they can take middle, and they wouldn't be able to take any information of it. But if mid is smoked off, someone is in side hold, you're still safe. So that's why I think it's quite useful to just have people in side hole, and middle is gonna be, yeah, if it doesn't get smoked off, it's an opper's paradise basically, because like you have this angle, you can swap over to this side, and you have an angle here, which are both very favorable angle for an off. Then I think the other two players are gonna be on this B side, which I think is flawed. It's very flawed. I think it's gonna be very important to have control over side entrance, and however this room is called, it's old side entrance, which is kind of weird. Side entrance control is gonna be very important. So I don't know, maybe someone's gonna close in here, could be further. And the issue is that the T's would be here at the same time, approximately, as you would be. So, oh, I don't remember the Molotov I threw yesterday, but it's gotta be something around that. Yeah, exactly. There's gotta be Molotov thrown every round, I think. Just as well as a mid Molotov. I think these two mollies are gonna be thrown every fucking round on high level. Something like this. It doesn't have to be exactly that way. Just so it covers everything. So then if that is given, you can actually take a bit of middle and you can easily let your second B player... Oh, that's gonna pop. Gonna drop off this wall. And easily let him flash like this. Something doesn't really matter. But you can come up with flash peek outs. And you're safe from the other side because you have an opera and stuff. And these guys would have to run across middle and come up here in order to pressure you. So that's why I think it's kind of like Mirage, where it's very important to hold middle. But I think it's very easy for the T's to actually control it. Because this guy here is going to be on a timer even if he's peaked. He's going to be on a timer and he's got to go back. And then he can play this side where he can't fall back from. Or he can just play this door where he's going to be pre-fired. It's going to be very awkward. And very hard spot to play, I think. And there's not a whole lot of variety you can put in. It's not like a ladder room where you can actually get the height difference and everything. It's just one height kind of thing. You can go up a bit in the corners and everything, but this isn't enough in my opinion. And as well, you can like just throw one flash in. Doesn't really matter how you throw it in. That guy in here has to turn back. And the good player can basically just pre-fire it, and he doesn't even have to be doesn't even have to see you. So it's gonna be very hard to hold, I think. Interesting thing is you can spam this actually. So if you're on a retake and you think someone is in this corner, you can go somewhere like this, and it's gonna hit his head exactly right here in the corner. And there's gonna be like 3 or 4 bullets to the head and he's dead. So this damages quite a lot. This tunnel is also bangable. This one isn't bangable at all, not even with an op. You can bang from here. Oh, I think I'm aiming way too high. You need to bang down here somewhere. Exactly. That's how you can wall bang through to this side, but as well, the T's can bang this if they have the lineup. So it goes both ways. Is also bangable down here, which is also a thing where I can imagine T's just spraying this tunnel like every round in the beginning, just to deny the control of middle, or not of middle, of T upper. It's gonna be very interesting to see high level play on this map. I think it's B side is very flawed because there's not a lot of angles. There's kind of here you can play and then you can fall back. You can maybe fight it from here. Or like that, you can go here. That's okay, but you're already like one smoke and you're out. You can't do anything now. If you want to play ahead of the smoke, you have this pillar. Like that's everything you got. There's the smoke here. You maybe take upper or side hole. You have this corner, which is very much one and done, and you can't play around anything. And there's this pillar, which I'd imagine is gonna be quite easy to molly. Let's see. I can do it first right now. I can't, but oh, this is interesting. We can probably bounce stuff from this ledge up here. Yeah, exactly. Whatever. This is gonna be quite easy to molly, and I think on high level this is gonna be mollied every time. So there's not really much you can do in this side. I think it's gonna be very easy to take. And there's gonna be a lot of fights for this alley here, this ramp. I don't know how it's gonna pan out, but I think it's gonna be very important to have like an opper sitting here or a rifler, whatever, just to be aggressive, because you can't really hold the site from back in the site. But the timings aren't really favorable for the CTs. I mean, what I can see the CTs doing a lot is running around here, grenade like that. And they're gonna hit from, in terms of timing, it's gonna be pretty much perfect. This is pretty much when the T's are gonna come through here. Which also says you don't you don't have control over this way by default. I mean, you could maybe molly it like this. I don't know. You'd have to figure out the lineup so it's early enough, but I think it's gonna be very awkward to hold B. It's gonna be very hard, and there's not like. Of course, you have this like one way they have to come through, but it's so easy to just smoke 2 angles off and you're done. There's no complexity to the side, so I think it's gonna be very easy to take for these. As for the A side, I think it's very much gonna be CT sided in a way, as long as you have the how is it called again? As long as you have side hole, exactly. As long as you have side hole, it's just easy. You just have this one entrance, and you can basically hold it from here. You can hold it from here. You can hold it from this box. You can hold it from this side from the box. You can even go here sometimes. You can go up here on the boost, which is gonna be very awkward. There's so many angles, and to be honest, I don't really know how you'd flash. Like, where would you throw a flash at? You can throw it out here. That's it, basically. But you're not gonna surprise anyone with a flash out there. I mean, on high level, the guy here is probably gonna play anti-flash anyways. A side is gonna be quite easy to hold, as long as you have control over side hole. Might even be that people play 3 over towards B, just because B is gonna be a struggle to hold. But the advantage of the B side is, of course, I think it's quite easy to retake, because it goes both ways. Like a Mirage B side, for example, is very hard to take, but it's also very hard to retake. It's just because it's got a lot of angles. This side doesn't have a lot of angles, so it's gonna be quite easy to retake as well. This spam wood, by the way, will come and play if the bomb is planted right here, for example, and people can just spam the CT who's defusing in here dead immediately, which is gonna be unpleasant. So you kinda... I'd imagine it might be a bit like an Inferno, where if you have side entrance, you can just chill here, and then you can easily retake. But if you lose it, it's done. It's similar to construction. You can retake if you go construction. If not, you just go safe. But hey, these are my first thoughts on this map. Everything might pan out quite differently. But if you enjoyed it, please don't forget to leave a like, follow me, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Bye.